Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Listen, glad to have you guys here today. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of July, 2020. And welcome to the show. Listen, the EU. Well, anyway, listen, I'm going to give you guys the key to understanding where the stock market's going from here. I'm going to give you guys the key. It's all got to do with what the Fed's going to do and with what the stimulus that's going to come out. Now, this is what's advanced further stimulus. I'm not talking about stimulus they've already done up till now. I'm talking about in the future, what they're going to do. That's where the stock market's going. And now they're going to agree on it, what they're going to do. They could go as little as nothing. Or they could just, a lot of the tight conservative ones out there want only $1 billion. And then there's more ones out there who want a bigger amount, up to about 3 point something. Did I say billion? I meant trillion. Only 1 trillion. And I say only, that's not really good support at 1 trillion. Then there's other ones out there who want 3 trillion. You know, how much support they give to the Wall Street economy is also going to trickle down to Main Street. Main Street, you guys are suffering right now because they're cutting off a lot of these programs and stuff. You're not going to get the stimulus checks, and you're not going to get the unemployment insurance checks. You need this. You need it. Now, what's going on over in Europe? Let's turn the channel on right now and take a look. The EU nations have clinched a $1.8 trillion. Now, actually, that's trillion euros. That's about 2.3 trillion coronavirus aid deal after 4 days. This is wonderful news for the people of Europe. They're not being so stingy over in Europe. We need that kind of attitude over here. We need money for the people. People need to survive. You know? We got like 28 million people out of work and stuff that can't make their mortgage payments and so on and so forth. Money needs to come down. Look, we're already like $26 trillion of debt, and it's growing. It's like over $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. What's an extra trillion or two more to get us through this crisis and not have the system completely collapse? Because if the system completely collapses, it all becomes meaningless anyway. It's all just digits on a computer screen. You see what I'm saying? Where I'm going with this? The people need support. The people need, now, this is a time of need, what's called a time of need. It's not a time to be stingy. Anyway, so the EU nations have clinched a $1.8 trillion budget. Do you remember how I was saying a few months ago how the crisis is going to be centered in Europe? Well, with this new budget of theirs, maybe not. Maybe the crisis will be centered in the United States if they don't loosen up the purse strings a little bit to the people. This is very important. Anyway, listen, guys. 27 European nations forged this deal after a tense marathon summit. Weary but relieved, European Union leaders finally clinched a deal on an unprecedented 1.8 trillion euros. That's about, I guess, 2.4 trillion US dollars, somewhere in that ballpark. Budget and Coronavirus Recovery Fund early Tuesday, somehow finding unity after 4 days and nights of fighting and wrangling over the money and power in one of their longest summits ever. I see this as a good thing to help to prevent the world from spiraling down into the abyss during this virus crisis, And so all the more power to them, and what we need is some of this action over here in the United States to keep the United States from spiraling into a crisis so that we can maintain our old lives. And maybe, if things work out really good, if they pass these budgets and they're not tight with the money, maybe if things work out really good, we'll get our old lives back. The virus will disappear after a point in time, and maybe we'll get some of our old lives back. Wouldn't that be nice? Rather than this garbage that we've been through for the last, and a lot of it relies upon money, and it relies upon uh, the uh, the uh, the government offering support through this crisis. You know, so this is a good thing. Anyway, let's take a look now at silver today. It's up $1.11. Now I told you guys these days were coming. Told you years ago these days were coming where we were going to have. I said actually we were going to have $3 days. We got $1 day. First, this is over $1.11 today. $20.99. So this is just the start of something big with the silver, especially with silver. Silver is the big one. You're gonna, if you're invested in silver, what you're probably looking at is the silver ratio going back to like 50 or 40 or 50 to 1. From the 100 to 1 it is now. Means you're going to double your money right there. But gold's not going to stay at these prices. Gold's heading up. It's going to be crossing 2,000 soon, then 3,000, then 5,000. And so if silver moves to half, 50 to 1, you're looking at an extremely high silver price. Compared to what it is now. So we're getting up there. We're getting close to already doubling the price of silver for the first doubling. Because it was down around $13 and something. Now it's 21. So it's only got to get up to 26 and it's doubled. That's the first doubling from where it was, down in its low depths. And you got to understand something about all this. When silver was at its lowest price, its lowest ebb, at around $13, and I remember, it wasn't that long ago, guys. It was so unloved. Now, people are, even though the price has nearly doubled, people are much more excited about it and thinking about buying it. This is human nature. Human nature doesn't want to buy something when it's cheap. They only want to buy it when it's moving up and going higher, and it's heading into a bubble. That's when they really want to buy it. That's when the real enthusiasm comes. When this price is $150 an ounce, they're all going to be wanting it. There won't be any available. Selling it, selling it'll just be easy. You'll be able to ask a premium for it. Any coin store or anything, they'll be like, oh, give us the silver, give us the silver. They'll be right on for it. Like, we went through, when it was at its lowest ebb there around $13, you go into a coin store and they were like picky. And they wanted to give you lower than spot, below spot, and they were picky. You watch what happens when the price gets up like $150 an ounce. They'll grab it out of your hands. You say, hey, that's mine, that's mine. They say, no, it's ours now. They'll grab it. They'll hand you the dirty, filthy cash for it. That's how it'll be, when the price gets up where it's going. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency. Oh, we forgot to do gold. We forgot to do gold. Gold's $18.41, and look at that. Nice, up. Up $23.40 today. Cryptocurrency market capitalizations. Bitcoin was in the 260s. Now it's in the 270s. 276.7. 62.2% Bitcoin dominance. Now, yesterday, the Bitcoin dominance was 62% even. Today, it's 62.2. So Bitcoin dominance has fell just a little bit. As long as that Bitcoin dominance stays low, it's bullish. Now, we've seen the Bitcoin dominance is climbing a little bit. That's not a good sign. But, I think the marketplace is still bullish for cryptocurrency right now, because cryptocurrency is another way out of the dollar. These very, very few avenues where you can buy something that is completely out of the dollar and doesn't have any counterparty risk, which is extremely important. So Bitcoin price is at 93.32 today. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow is 286 points up. It's up over 1%. 26,966. It's almost ready to make up to 27,000. If they're tight with the money, we're going to see a crash in the Dow. I'll call it a flash crash. If they're loose with the money, policy from the Fed. And this is what's going to determine this market. Now, I've told you guys what's going to determine the market is just exactly the going forward funding from the government into these stimulus measures. That's what's going to determine the market, this market here. You know? And that's what has been determining the market for the last, most of this year. It's been what's been determining where this market's been going. Not the general economy. The general economy, everything could be falling to the ground. Everyone, 100% of the people could lose their jobs. And everything could be falling to the ground. And they wouldn't care as long as there's lots of new stimulus, fresh stimulus coming out. This market would still go up. This market's completely detached from the ordinary economy, from the real economy. Completely detached now at this point. And so if you want this market to go up, you need more stimulus. The more stimulus, the more it goes up. But it's in a bubble, so it needs a lot of stimulus. Anyway, so that's it. Let's take a look now at crude oil. $41.99. Crude oil's getting a little bit pricey there. It's up near $42. It's up $1.18 on the day, or 2.89%. So you might see a little bit of a hike in the price, maybe 2 or 3 cents at the pumps when you go to pump your gas next time. U.S. Treasuries now. We're looking at falling yields today. We're looking at 0.59 on the U.S. 10-year, and it's fell 2.5 basis points. And the U.S. 30-year has fell 1.9 basis points at 1.29. The hardest one of these bonds for them to actually control is the furthest out on the yield curve, the 30-year. That's the hardest one for them to control. The shorter end of the yield curve, they have a lot more control over. As you descend down the yield curve, they get greater and greater control over the yield. You know. Anyway, I'm talking about the Fed. It gets greater and greater control. Over the shorter end of the yield curve. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index. 95.31, and it's falling today. It's fell a half a penny. That's a big fall for the U.S. dollar index, a one-day fall, and that's probably part of the reason why we're seeing the price of gold. Where are investors going to put their money? You know, what's the safe haven? Not bonds anymore. The yield's all gone out of the bonds. There's no yield. Might as well buy gold. If you're going to buy treasuries, you might as well buy gold because there's no yield in treasuries anymore. Not with an inflation mandate by the Fed of 2%, and the yields are less than 2%, so you're losing money on them. What did I have here? Okay, that's it for today. Listen, thank you guys for listening to my show. Give me a thumbs up. Those thumbs up mean a lot to my channel, you know. Like and subscribe. You know, I need new subscribers. My subscribers have plateaued, and I need to forge forward. Need new subscribers. So tell your friends about my channel. It would be a big help to me, really, honestly. It would be nice to have a few new subscribers. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.